And something I want to talk about in regards to these, because a lot of picks, and by a lot of picks, I mean at least two. At least two picks this year were G League guys. Overtime Elite, G League, whatever you want to call it. A lot of guys were taken out of the G League this year. And how do I say this without coming off as either really stupid or potentially disrespectful? Are G League guys even good? Like, actually. I mean, like, are they worth a draft pick in the same way that a college player is worth a draft pick? Because even say a one and done college player, say like this is a bit of an extreme example, but say Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson played at Duke, played in the NCAA tournament, played, in actual crowds and actual high leverage situations. Right. Versus Ozzer Thompson. Okay? I don't know what kind of player Ozzer Thompson's going to be. I don't know what kind of player Amen Thompson's going to be. I don't know what kind of player any of these G Leaguers are going to be. And that's kind of my problem. It's like the only tape I have on these guys is them beating up on kids going through puberty. So I wanted to go through just the myriad of players that have been drafted that are active players that were either drafted or signed out of the G League. This is according to Hispanos NBA. I don't know if that's a Spanish website. The website is in English, so I don't really know, but I don't know. This is technically out of date given this past draft, but this is players that have played. So, okay. We're going to start with, and I want to just name all these guys, and I challenge anybody. If you're watching this clip, I challenge you right now. Tell me which team these players play for. There's going to be one that's just pretty obvious, but unless you're like an NBA slappy, I doubt you could name every single one of these guys' teams. All right, let's jump in. Dominic Barlow, Marjan Beauchamp, Dyson Daniels, Jalen Green, Jaden Hardy, Jonathan Kuminga, Daishin Nix, and Isaiah Todd. Now, all except for two of those players are pretty identifiable. Jalen Green and Jonathan Kuminga. So I'll talk about Jalen Green because he's easily the best player out of this selection. So Jalen Green, this past year, 22 points, 3 boards, 3 assists. Pretty darn good year. I mean, in his career, 19 points, 3.5 boards, 3 assists. Jalen Green seems to be the real deal. Seems to be a pretty good ball player. Shooting guard, 6'6", 21 years old. Still got a heck of a lot of upside. In just 2 seasons, he's already averaging 20 points. It's pretty good. The other name is Jonathan Kuminga, who is pretty much the anti-Jalen Green in terms of being good. In which, what I mean to say is he's bad, is what I mean to say. Kuminga, 9 points, 3 boards, 1 assist in his career. 9 points, 3 boards, 1 assist. He's played a couple of seasons. He's played as long as Jalen Green has, just 2 seasons. And, well, quite frankly, he stinks. Quite frankly, he's not very good. And I'm assuming these are percentages. Yeah, that would make sense. It says 53 FG. I'm assuming that's percentages. So he's taking a lot of high percentage shots, which, I mean, I guess makes sense. He's 6'8", and he's a center. Takes a lot of high percentage shots. Now, keep in mind, they took Jonathan Kuminga at number 7. Jalen Green was taken number 2. Now, here are a few others that I know you don't know. And if you do know them, good for you, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Most people, I would imagine, probably don't know who these guys are. Dominic Barlow had just 1 season. He got drafted this past draft, not 2021, or not 2023, 2022's draft. And in just 1 season, 3 points, 3 boards, not even an assist a game. 0% from 3, 72% free throw percentage, 53% from the field. Now, I just want to double check that that is what that is. So let me... Dominic Barlow. Yeah, okay. It is. Just wanted to double check. That is what that stat is showing. Okay. Dominic Barlow stinks. He stinks. And you could say he's young. Okay. I mean, plenty of guys are young, but not a whole lot of guys are averaging 4 points in their rookie season. So probably not going to get a whole lot. Then you got Marjan Beauchamp. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this man's name correctly or any of these players' names correctly. If I'm mispronouncing it, I apologize. I'm truly trying my best, but these kind of guys don't really get their names called a whole lot, and the page for Marjan is not loading, so we're going to try Dyson Daniels instead. Oh, it's just nothing is loading. Oh, is this fantastic? This is just fantastic. This is a live show. There we go. Okay. Okay, both their pages load. So Marjan Beauchamp, solid 5 points, 2 boards, and an assist, not an assist, less than an assist a game. 40% from the field, 33% from 3, 73% from the line. He was taken number 24 in last year's draft. This one is also very shocking. Dyson Daniels, taken number 8. Okay? 3 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, 42 from the field, 31 from 3, 65 from the line. Both these guys stink. And Daniels was taken in the top 10. At least Beauchamp was taken 24. You know, if you miss on a pick 24, okay, whatever. It's basketball, it's going to happen. But then we got one Jaden Hardy. And he's one of the better ones, okay? 8 points, a board, an assist. 44 from the field, 41 from 3, 82 from the line. He's one of the better ones, okay? And he also sucks. Maybe he has a little bit more upside, but he for all intents and purposes, he's not good. And he was taken 37, to be fair. We already talked about Kuminga. Dyson Nix. Dyson Nix has played a couple of years, and what do you know? He stinks. 3 points, one board, two assists, 34 from the field, 28 from 3. That is less than 30%. That means less than 1 out of every 3 shots he takes from behind the arc, he is making 65% from the free throw line. And that is, by the way, in 2 years' time. That is not, it's not like it was just a bad rookie year. He's out of Houston. He was taken undrafted. So they just signed him. Fine. And finally, Isaiah Todd, who, I mean, bless the man. He's an NBA player. God bless. Because he is making more money than I maybe will ever see. And he's doing it while averaging 1.5, 2 boards, not even an assist a game. 17%, 1-7 from the field, 10% from the field. He could take 100 shots from 3, and he would make 10 of them. 100 shots from 3. Professional basketball player Isaiah Todd for the Washington Wizards out of the G League from Baltimore, Maryland would make 10 of them. I cannot stress. This is a professional basketball player who was taken out of the G League. And my whole point is not to expose all of these numerous players that have not worked out in the NBA out of the G League. My point is not to embarrass them. My point is simply this. When all these mock drafts and everybody wants to be the smartest guy in the world and, oh, look at this guy. He's from the G League. Nobody knows about him. He's going to be. We got one solid example of G League success in the NBA. One. And that player was taken number 2 overall. The rest of these guys were, some of them, their position taken, some of them were undrafted. A lot of them were taken out of the top 10. Point is, these guys are not good, most of them. Or at least the guys that have been taken so far have not been good. And it gives me pause when a team gets high on a G League guy or an overtime elite or whatever they're. I don't know the difference. I'm calling them the same thing. I've said this multiple times before on the show. I don't know what they are. They're basically the same thing. Versus, okay, because I know people are going to say, oh, well, they're basically the same age as a college player. What's the difference? Let me tell you what the difference is. In college, for one, there is an element of travel involved. You're not just playing in one arena. Now, again, I could be totally wrong. There could be some element of travel in the G League. I don't watch the G League. Nobody watches the G League because the NBA doesn't show it off except during the draft. But anyway, you're usually playing in fairly empty arenas. I know that for a fact. You're playing anyone from, depending on whether it's overtime elite or G League, you're playing anyone from the age of 16 to 18 or 20. So let me give you an example, okay? Let me give you a tangible example. Let's just take away sports, okay? Let's take away sports. Let's put you, let's say you're 20 years old. I'm 23 years old, so I can't use this example. I'm too old. Let's say you're 20 years old. If Seth was here, he could use this example. You're 20 years old. We're going to put you in, I don't know, just a general physical strength test. You take the average 20-year-old, put him against the average 16-year-old. The 20-year-old is probably going to be stronger, right? Finished going through puberty, probably has more time generally to physically train just because they've been alive longer. Now we're doing it with basketball players. Now we're doing it with people who, generally speaking, are pretty athletic, okay? People who are far more athletic than the average person. Not just in physical strength, but in physical capabilities. And you're going to take, say, Jalen Green right now is 21, so when he was drafted, he was 19. You're going to take 19-year-old Jalen Green, who probably way taller and way stronger than the youngest players on those teams. And he is basically just going to run the league. And it's not like there's any pressure. Okay, so what if his team loses? Who cares? He's there to get drafted. He's not there to win games for his team. He's there to get drafted. His team is going to win. But he's not there to, win a championship for the St. Louis Deutericons. I don't know. I literally just made. I don't even know what that is. The Deutericons. And then I think, okay, most of these guys have failed. It's not like they took them and they were like necessarily all bad in the G League. Kuminga was taken in the top 10. Dyson Daniels, top 10. It's not like they didn't have some eyes for these people. They just suck. They just can't play in the NBA. And a college player, here's the difference. A college player has to travel. For sure, they will travel. A college player has to play for a team that will play in rivalry games that actually is not just there to get drafted. A college player is there to play for his college. And whether they're one and dones, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. If a college player doesn't produce some level of success for the team that they're on, not exactly the most, reward. Like, they're not there for a highlight reel, typically. They want to play for the college. And sure, a lot of them want to play for the pros, and a lot of them are good enough to go right from the college to the pros. We see it with Kate Cunningham, saw it with Zion Williamson, saw it with plenty of guys. Practically all the guys that are drafted out of college now are one and dones. Now, does it always work? No. But when you're playing in college, you have to play. Let's say you go to Michigan State. You got to play Michigan. That's a big game. You got to go to the Chrysler Center and play U of M. People are, it's basically a sold out arena. Even when Michigan is bad, which is most of the time. But even when that's the case, Still got the student section you got to deal with. And it's basketball. It's not like everyone is relatively in the same age bracket in college. Okay? 18 to 22. And sure, if you're 22 years old, there's a chance you can physically dominate over an 18-year-old, but it's a lot smaller of a gap. You can, once you're 18, you are obviously legally an adult, but physically speaking, you're also pretty close to just being an adult in that sense. Not that you're done, but that if you have superior athleticism by default, and you also add on to that you already have a lot of strength, physical strength, you're probably just going to overpower someone who might technically, physically be stronger than you. You're probably just going to be able to take them down. Simple as that. But all this is an exercise, okay? This is an exercise to make people think, should we be taking G League guys? Is the G League even really all that serious? Can we really take these prospects all that seriously? I don't know. I have a hard time believing it. And it's nothing against the players individually. I wish them the best, but I mean, this collection of G Leaguers, not exactly the most, inspiring group. But that's just me.